Hey guys, it's Marla at Twinstrology. Welcome back. This is going to be an energy update for February, and I'm calling this the Black Moon Cometh. If you would like a personal reading with me, you can visit my website, which is twinstrology.com. Please follow me on Facebook at Twinstrology, and I do have two other pages on Facebook, Eclipse, Astrology, and Tarot, and a new page I just started called The Polytheist Priestess. If you're interested in checking me out on either of those. On my other Facebook pages, I do post a general reading for the collective energies every 2 weeks. That one is not just for twin flames, but it's for everybody. Okay, so most of you know that we have a solar eclipse happening this month, a new moon solar eclipse at 27 degrees Aquarius. In my last video I did, which was on the full moon, I briefly touched upon the fact that there was no full moon in February. And I was told by Spirit that it was because this was something that was going to help us grow and shift away from something. And I've been getting more downloads about this, and I wanted to just share it with you instead of waiting another 2 weeks, because the energies are really starting to come in right now. So let's talk about what a black moon is. Most of you know what a blue moon is because we just had a blue moon lunar eclipse. This is when we have 2 full moons in 1 month. This is going to happen again in March. Now, this solar eclipse that we're experiencing is going to be called a black moon. There's 3 different types of black moons. The first is when there's 2 new moons in 1 month. The second is when we have 4 new moons in 1 season. Normally there's 3. So this means that there's an extra new moon, and then the third new moon of that series of 4 is considered a black moon. So the new moon solar eclipse in Leo that happened on August 21st was the 3rd new moon in a series of 4 in the season of summer. So that eclipse was also a black moon. That happens about once every 33 months. So that very powerful eclipse started a new cycle that's going to be continuing until the next time that happens. Now this new moon is the 3rd type of black moon. This only happens in the month of February due to it being a short month. And this is when we have a new moon and no full moon. This happens about every 20 years. And the last time this happened was in 1999. So we know that this is going to be very significant. And the belief is that this new moon is very powerful, and it helps pull up elements of our shadow side, pulling out our deepest, darkest shadow self. And this is the energy that I'm feeling around the whole month of February. Now, how this is playing out astrologically is, you're going to have to bear with me a little bit here. We have the planets Venus, Sun, and Mercury transiting through Aquarius right now. This is where the eclipse will happen on the 15th. But already today, which is the 4th, we have Venus squaring Jupiter in Scorpio. Now, Jupiter's been transiting Scorpio for a while, and he's here helping us claim our shadow. I say claim because he is helping us see that a lot of things that are in our shadow are not bad. Our ego fears a lot of these things. That's why our ego tries to hide it. There's feelings of guilt and shame around them. So we bury it, and they get buried in the sign of Scorpio. But this energy that's coming in is asking us to integrate parts of our shadow. not to fear it, but to acknowledge it and actually bring it in with us. And I'm feeling it has a type of soul integration. Soul retrieval. So different parts of ourself can get trapped in different timelines. And this is, through trauma, through shadow work. And the energy that's coming in February is helping us retrieve those pieces of ourselves. Because we need those pieces. Despite what our ego thinks, we need those pieces in order to be whole. And those pieces carry an important part of our future. Or we could say our shadow elements carry an important part of ourself that we need to go forward. It's not just that we need to just clear this stuff away. I'm really feeling there's a benefit here for us, and that's why this cosmic gateway is helping us bring in this energy. So as the planets go through Aquarius, they square Jupiter, which helps us, see different elements of our shadow. Then we're going to have the eclipse. Well, right before the eclipse, the Sun and Mercury will be sextile Uranus, which will help us see things in a different perspective, help us release that energy. Or, Uranus and Aquarius is the rebel and the revolutionary. There is an element there of being with the group, but there's also this element in Aquarius of you can be who you are, you can be your unique self, and I'm going to accept you as part of my group. There's not a lot of judgment from Aquarius. Usually they just accept everybody for who they are. So there's this element of us needing to accept ourselves and having to accept others for who they are. That'll be assisted by Uranus as well. Then as they go into Pisces, they'll be making a sextile to Saturn. This is helping solidify the shadow work that we're doing. Like the shadow comes up, we're able to see it from a different perspective. We're able to accept those things about ourselves. Saturn helps us ground and solidify that new energy. Then they're going to make a conjunction with Neptune and in conjunction with the North Node. So we get some kind of shift as far as our life path, our spiritual purpose around that energy. They move forward still. They make a sextile to Pluto, which is us letting go of the fears, letting go of why we saw it as shadow. And then they're going to conjunct Chiron as they move through Pisces. And as they make the conjunction to Chiron, this brings together the soul retrieval, because Chiron is like a open multi-dimensional window, and these shadow elements of ourselves are able to come in and come back to us. Simultaneously, the asteroid Karma has been traveling with Mars through Sagittarius. And they're going to be traveling through and making some squares to the planets in Pisces, including Neptune and Venus. So it'll be Mars square Venus, and it will be Mars conjunct Vesta square Venus conjunct Neptune is coming up. And this is happening on 2/22. So I know some people have talked about the 2/2 gateway. Around the time of February 22nd or 2/22, this is going to be some really powerful energy coming in. And I think we'll really start to feel it shortly after the solar eclipse around the 17th. There'll be a lot of love energy coming in. But there's just going to also be there'll just be a lot of energy. Moon's conjunct Vesta, squaring Venus, Neptune. This is going to be some purification. We need to make changes within our psyche. And they're in Sagittarius, Mars, and Vesta. And this is like, what beliefs do we need to see, release, acknowledge that are stopping us from being unconditional love, which is Venus, Neptune is unconditional love. And around that same time, the sun is going to be conjunct the asteroid Amor, which is love. Sun will be sextiling Saturn. Karma will be squaring Mercury. Jupiter's in conjuncting Uranus. Pallas is squaring the nodes. Karma is squaring Mercury from Sag. Again, we're letting go of beliefs, getting to truth. And Union is also going to be conjunct Chiron. So asteroid Union through this month on the 17th is making a conjunction with Chiron, and the moon as well on that day. This is really going to be that multidimensional window opening. It's going to be enabling you to get more balance of your inner masculine and feminine. This asteroid union here in that context for most of you is representing your inner union. For some of you, it's going to represent your outer union as well. But for most of you, I want you to focus on your inner union because that's really the energy of right now. We're feeling that intensely, and it feels good. The inner union feels good because we're able to detach. We're able to let go of a lot of our fears. And like how I'm feeling it is really being able to live in the moment, not worry too much about the future, what's coming up in the future, and caring for myself. So Union will still be conjunct Chiron at that 222 gateway. And then on the 25th, Union's going into Aries, which is going to be very significant because the Aries point is where we ground and manifest something. So we know that it's going to be a very significant time. Again, and the inner unions will really be coming on strong at that time at the end of the month. And this is paving the way for true union. So some of you, if you're ready, may be seeing union come in the physical. But to be honest, guys, I'm getting that the biggest outward changes are going to be happening in the spring, April, May, particularly. And right now, we're lining things up for that energy now. Again, you really want to rest right now. You really want to take care of yourself. You know, there's a strong feeling right now of being pregnant in so many ways. I'm feeling it. You're probably feeling it too. And it's like something wants to be born. We're very creative right now. The manifestation ability is huge. And when you're pregnant and you're getting close to the end, you want to nest. So that's really what we're doing right now. We're nesting. We want to take care of our home. We want to arrange things. We want to get our mind and our soul in order for the changes that are going to manifest. Also, when you're pregnant, you've got a baby within that's growing. But that baby has to come out eventually, right? It has to go through a transformation process. So the things that you've been growing within you have to experience a little bit of pain for that baby to come out. Sometimes a lot of pain. This is also the energy that we're going through. It's like we've got that baby within us, and somehow that baby has to get without us. It has to get outside of us. But there's a little bit of pain involved as we go through the shift and the transformation of that, which is doing the shadow work that we're doing, this soul integration that we're doing. And it really is our higher self being more grounded within us. So like the mother that has the baby, we're being asked to sacrifice. And one of the cards I pulled for what was coming up ahead was the Hanged Man. And the deck I use, it's called Sacrifice, but traditionally it's the Hanged Man. And I thought about Odin right away because it's actually the message, this message came through Odin. the energy of Odin because I was doing some work on runes. And as you know, well, you may not know, but Odin hung on the life tree for 9 days. And this is how he got the runes. He sacrificed something. He sacrificed his own pain. He also pierced himself with his own spear in order for him to get granted knowledge. You might also liken this to Jesus, who also was hung on the cross, who had his side pierced, for him to go through his own transformation and for him to help all of us go through a transformation. Which brings me to this card I wanted to read because I drew a goddess card and I asked what is going to be the goddess energy of this new moon. And I got Inanna, embrace your shadow. Now at the last full moon I got Hecate as the goddess that was overseeing the full moon. And Hecate is more associated with the new moon than a full moon, although she is a moon goddess. But what I felt of that energy was Hecate was going to be with us from that full moon to this new moon, helping us, guiding us. As far as a black moon, I would say definitely we're going to have Hecate present with us. But yeah, Inanna's the card I pulled, and I want to read this for you guys because it will help you understand some things. There's a poem here first. I went there of my own free will. I went there in my finest gown with my rarest jewels and my Queen of Heaven crown. In the underworld, at each of the 7 gates, I was stripped 7 times of all that I thought that I was, till I stood bare in who I really am. Then I saw her. She was huge and dark and smelly and hairy, with a lion's head and lion's claws, devouring everything before her. Ereshkigal, my sister. She was all that I am not, all that I have hidden, all that I have buried. She is what I have denied. Ereshkigal, my sister. Ereshkigal, my shadow. Ereshkigal, myself. So for those of you that know the story of Inanna, she went down into the underworld that was ruled by her sister Ereshkigal. And she was stripped, which is a metaphor for having to strip down to your bare soul. And then she was hung on a meat hook for 3 days. So Inanna has well sacrificed. And if we listen to the poem, Ereshkigal here, her sister, is her shadow self. So Inanna here is to tell you that a journey to the underworld is the way to wholeness for you now. It's a time to dance with your shadow, reclaim what you've denied, embrace your own sister dark self. You need all those aspects of yourself that your parents, caregivers, teachers, society have deemed unacceptable in order to achieve wholeness in your life. Whether it be your talent, your beauty, your inner vampire, your anger, your madness, you are required to surrender to the journey and embrace your dark side. If you are already in the underworld, the appearance of Inanna may signal that the time for your return is at hand. Journeys to the underworld to embrace your dark side are a law unto themselves. They take as much time as they need to take. You can't just fit them into your schedule. When it's time for you to journey, you will, and you will not be done until you return. Take comfort in the fact that all journeys to the underworld do end, and that you will indeed return, much different from who you thought you were when you went. So a transformation to get down to who we are, the truth of our soul. So I feel there's a strong element here of we're having to, in some ways, make a sacrifice. The integration of these energies are allowing more light to come in, and there will be a lot of high vibrational energies coming in this month. There will be DNA upgrades, physical upgrades, spiritual upgrades. We're all going to the next level of ascension. There'll be more people waking up, of course. People waking up to a new level, new truths being seen. This is all helping us to make the changes that we've been asking for. Just trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to say. Well, I'm not trying to scare people with this video. I hope that that's not coming across as this is going to be something scary. I mean, you may have to face some truths about yourself, or you may be facing some negativity from people around you. You really need to protect your energy field right now. This is part of the reason why Spirit wants you to stay by yourself. And you'll be better off. You'll be able to stay more balanced if you get that time to go within right now. And, take the time to ground yourself and clear energy. Use your violet flame. Because there'll be stuff being released. Even if you find this transition, really easy within yourself, and the shadow work, like you've laid a lot of groundwork, which I feel many of us have laid the groundwork for this, then it won't be that difficult. But there'll be a lot of people around you that will be having difficulty. And I'll tell you, the energy out in the world, at least, I don't really take part in the world very much, but like the Facebook world and such, the energy is very negative right now. So stay away from it if you can. Yeah, people might be dealing with anger, frustration, that sort of thing. And so that might be your challenge, and part of what you're integrating within you is dealing from negativity without you. From without you, that, if I made that clear. So it's really a important and positive part of the process, because I feel that the knowledge that we're going to have, like our consciousness is expanding, and this is allowing us to get in touch with so much ancient knowledge and things that we know. But for many of us, there's been like a wall up. This shadow self that we've been trying to hide creates a wall between us, between, nothing can really come in. We can't let a lot of love out because of this wall. So we're going to bring down this wall and make it easier. Well, we'll be able to exchange, give and receive better. We'll be able to love more unconditionally, which is really the point of February. Is unconditional love. We'll be experiencing another level within us of unconditional love, or Christ consciousness. So I think I'm going to end it here because I don't want to make this video too long. I'm sure I'll be back as we get closer to the eclipse with some updates and my usual tarot readings. Thank you guys so much. I love you, and I will speak to you soon.